Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is the Piracy Show. Now, as promised today, we're going to be talking about the new Corvette and what I think the new Corvette should be. Now, it's a very dangerous thing to say that because obviously, if you go on the forums, if you spend any amount of time on the forums, you know that there are basically 50 million different takes on what a Corvette should be. I mean, much like the navies of the world who use Corvettes as everything from coastal patrol vessels to anti-submarine warfare and on and on and on, there's really no exact real world parallel that you can say this is what it should be because this is what it is for everybody in the real world, so just extend this into the Star Citizen universe. You can't really do that. But there is a ship in the Star Citizen universe that, whether by design or by accident, is actually the perfect example of what the Corvette should be. And if you're thinking I'm going to say it's the Idris, it isn't. Because the Idris, I mean, I have different issues with the Idris, but the Idris itself, I think, is kind of heading in the opposite direction of what this Corvette should be. And I think that this Corvette should actually be much more like this ship right here, the Endeavor. The Endeavor is actually the perfect solution to the Corvette problem. Now, you might be saying, okay, so you're just going to take the Endeavor and put a whole bunch of guns on it? No, no. What the Corvette should be, obviously it should be a military vessel. It should look aggressive. It should look imposing, as most military vessels do. I'm not arguing that we should use the Endeavor, physically use the model. But what we should do is we should embrace the framework of the Endeavor, which is to have a base, open design that you can then add modules depending on what you want the ship to be. Do you want to say, for some people, they want to have a command and control ship. That's what they want. They want command and control. They want big radar domes, large communication antennas. They want to be able to, kind of set their forces out, be able to send the right information out to all the different ships in their fleet. And they just need all the facilities to do that. Other people may want an AWACS slash electronic warfare ship, something that can just do blanket electronic warfare unlike any other ship in the Star Citizen universe. And I mean, you would have large antennas for that, large radar domes, and you would have to have like a large complement of officers to operate all that equipment and to effectively jam all the little ships, or however you decided that electronic warfare was going to play out in the Star Citizen universe. So you would need all those facilities for that. Maybe you want to use have a combat resupply ship. So what you would have is you would basically have a hangar deck, maybe not something that could carry ships into combat, through a jump portal or through quantum travel, but something that could travel with the fleet and then kind of stand off and stand apart from the fleet, and then fighters or smaller ships could use it for very basic repairs, not so much to replace the Crucible, but very basic repairs, basic refueling, basic rearmament, and then get back into the action. Other people might want a vessel that is more directed towards AA, protecting fleets against swarms and swarms of fighters armed with missiles. And you could basically build armaments around that. You could have large amounts of fighter-sized weapon turrets bristling all over the ship, all around it, able to protect itself, and other ships maybe have some kind of modules there that kind of extend the range of those guns a little bit, maybe make them a little bit more accurate. Who knows how you want to lay it out, but there you could have that. Or you could swap all that out for maybe one or two large spinally mounted weapons for going after much larger vessels. And basically by using kind of the basic skeleton of a ship and then adapting it to whatever needs the user has, you could basically get that basic framework of the Corvette into players' hands at a very reasonable price, and then you could sell the modules sort of like Battlefield upgrade kits with the Vanguard series, where it's okay, which role beyond the basic role do you want to fulfill? Or you could sell the ship basically as a basic AA platform with the ability to swap out different modules and make it into these different ships. Like you could maintain, say, half of that overall, anti-fighter armament just to protect the ship and just to serve as the ship's base protection, and then add the other modules on top of that to make it an anti-capital ship, or to make it an electronic warfare ship, or a command and control vessel. And I think by going that route, it would much more closely adhere to players' expectations, or the wide and varied expectations that are out there. Because I mean, yeah, you go on the forums, you spend 20 minutes looking around, you can find 20 threads on, oh, this is what the Corvette should be, that's what the Corvette should be. But I think this idea is something that kind of has a better chance to give everybody what they want. Now, the other side of it is, of course, the question of whether or not it'll be a limited sale. And at this point, I don't think that it should be. I think that this should just be an open sale. Because, every time the Idris comes up, every time the Javelin comes up, hearts are broken and people start raging because, oh my god, I did not get the ship that I wanted. I melted everything to try and buy it and I didn't get it. And that pisses me off. And there's a lot of that rage out there. There's a lot of people who are kind of saying, I can't deal with the one ship refund token per quarter because, I melted all my ships to try and get a capital and I didn't get a capital, and now I've got to buy them all back, and it's going to take me like 10 years to buy everything back, using in-store credits, and just on and on and on. Having a ship like this that's an open sale, I think it kind of alleviates those problems, but it also opens up a lot of people to maybe some content that they're more interested in other than flying fighters, or other than flying, these kind of medium combat vessels. Like, some people want to fly capitals, some people want to crew capitals, some people want to get out there and they want to hunt down Vanduul destroyers in Vanduul space. They want to hunt down, other capital ships. They want to have more, not so much a wing commander experience as almost like a Star Trek experience of, crewing a much larger vessel. And I think getting a ship like this out there in the open, it gives those players something to look forward to when the game launches, rather than a grind to look forward to when the game launches to then get to that ship. Something that's openly available. And I think if it's a little bit more reasonably priced, like if it comes in around the price of the Endeavor, or maybe just a little bit more for the basic framework of the ship, it's something that might discourage to a certain extent. Certain orgs have been kind of pooling funds to buy capitals, or to take a chance at buying capitals, and sometimes, I'm not saying for everybody, and hopefully it'll be a very small minority, but sometimes things happen when people pool money in video games and stuff like that. Some very unfortunate and unsavory things. And it would also help mitigate issues like this if it was a little bit more reasonably priced. Now, I mean, for anti-capital modules or electronic warfare modules, you could certainly bring it up to a price point that would be relatively close to the price point of the original Idris. But by keeping it just a little bit more available and a little bit more within reach of the general community, I think it would serve as a good springboard into capital ships, and it It would help even out the playing field just a little bit without having to, say, open up Idris sales or open up Javelin sales, which would cause just so many issues. I just think that this is, going about it this way is something that would probably be overall healthier for the community rather than picking one ship for one role, or any of the other ideas that are out there. I think it should be a ship that just embraces modularity and more or less is something that, with the right modules, it fits the roles that players are asking for, but without specifically trapping itself within one. Anyways, that's my opinion on the new Corvette. That's how I think things should go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Quantum travel initiated.